Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Lauren Cielo from Golden Rose Psychic Services.
And I'm Crystal Heinemann of Crystal Sunshine Psychic Services.
And this is the Metaphysical Q&A podcast,
where we make metaphysics crystal clear
and golden delicious.
Metaphysical QA is a subscription-based podcast that will shift the way each human views the experiences that they're having here on Earth.
That's right. As professional clairvoyant healers and teachers, Crystal and I use this platform to help explain common everyday human experiences in easily understood metaphysical terms.
And our viewers and listeners supply the questions. That's you. If you'd like to submit a question, please visit our website at www.metaphysicalqa.com right there, or please visit our Facebook page, Metaphysical QA. If we use your question, then we're going to offer you a free reading. So go ahead and visit our website to reclaim that.
Excellent. All right. So what are the questions for this episode, Crystal?
All right, so we have 3 really great questions for today. Are you ready, Dr. Lauren?
I am, Crystal.
All right. So question number 1 comes from Scott in Michigan. And Scott asks, what's the difference between an angel and a spirit guide? Is it just the way they look? Great question. Looking forward to looking into that one. Question number 2 comes from Maria in Idaho. Shout out to Idaho. And Maria wants to know, a psychic told me that I have angels all around me. If I would just notice them, right? How does one do that? How does one notice angels? What are some signs that angels are near? I like this question. Yeah. Okay. Question number 3 comes from Laura in Texas. Shout out to Texas. And Laura wants to know, do angels know about our soul contracts and soul's purpose? Very good. Well, Dr. Lauren, this seems to have a little bit of a angel vibe to it. So how about we call this one Angelic Metaphysics?
Ooh, I love that.
Yes.
So, looks like we're heading up to the very tippy top of the astral plane, up to the angelic realms where the Supreme Being and archangels hang out. So what do you say we jump up there and ask them these questions, Crystal?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's get on to question number 1. Question number 1 comes from Scott in Michigan. Hi, Scott. Great question. Scott wants to know, what's the difference between an angel and a spirit guide? And is it just the way that they look? Is that the difference?
Excellent. All right, I think I'll take this one.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's talk categories of beings. So we probably say this a lot on this podcast, but there's 3 types of beings at the very upper level. There's beings with bodies, like me and Crystal, and there are beings without bodies, like our healing masters, Anki Yaya and Sabu. And then there's the Supreme Being, whatever you think that energy is. So now we'll come down a little bit on the org chart of beings, and we'll just focus on the ones that don't have bodies. So there's all kinds of different classifications in there. There's spirit guides, Akashic record keepers, baby beings that we've talked about before on this podcast, and then, of course, angels. Now, each different group has different characteristics. So probably the easiest way to define an angel, that a being without a body, versus other types of beings without bodies, it's about incarnating. For some reason, angels get no benefit from taking human form or any other form in any other fake reality, not just a Homo sapien here on Earth. So they just don't incarnate. So that's the biggest difference that we see in metaphysical Q&A, the teachings that we do here, is that an angel would be a being that has never incarnated and doesn't really know anything about that, versus maybe a more typical spirit guide that you would have that's reincarnated over and over and over and really understands the earth plane. So that's why you kind of, when we say the angelic realm, it does seem to be far removed from earth. It is, and they are. So that might be probably the best way I would describe it, Crystal.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott, I was looking into you. I was taking a peek at you as Dr. Lauren was talking, and I wanted to offer you. There's two prominent guides, two prominent beings without bodies that are around you, and one's an angel and one's a spirit guide. So I really wanted to offer you that and kind of give you a little bit of information on their valence, so you know. And so the first one that's coming forward is actually a guardian angel of yours, and the name that I get is Lars, Lars. And you know, he is definitely a guardian angel, and he leads you. Like, he stands out in front, and the way that he shows me is he actually kind of like bushwhacks your path. Like, he kind of like guards you, but he's leading you along the path. And so that's Lars. And he looks very almost from like ancient like Egyptian civilization. Like, there's little loincloth type thing, but he's very masculine, but he's really protecting you and guarding you, and he clears your path ahead of you. So that's Lars, that's in front of you, and he's one of your guardian angels. And then you have a beautiful woman who actually stands right over here. I have a hard time with my left and right when I'm in reading. Over on this shoulder, your left. It might be mirrored on the screen here, but over on your left. And her name is Caroline. And she's really, really beautiful. When I look at her, she's just she has like long flowing hair and like really beautiful, like kind of flowing chiffon dress around her energy. And really what she's here for you is she's really bringing forward your emotional being, you know. And I really read that in a lot of men clients, a lot of male clients these days, are really about bringing forward their emotional well-being, you know. Male or female, we all have emotions, right? And I believe that we have been so programmed as males, or males have been so programmed to really not respond to their emotions, to really sort of mask them. Whereas women, on the other hand, you know, have been viewed as too emotional, you know, and those are the roles where really, I mean, I see energetically that the roles actually are somewhat reversed. And so Caroline actually stands over here, and she allows you to really feel through this world, like to actually feel through this sentient time in your life. And so she's really beautiful. So those are two guides that you can look for in your space. Thanks, Scott.
Well, there you go, Scott. You have an angel and you have a spirit guide that you can start working with. So I hope that helps you. Let's go on with question number 2. All right, Crystal, we're up to question number 2. Maria Q in Idaho asks or says, a psychic told me that I have angels all around me if I would just notice them. So Maria wonders, how does one do that? What are the signs that angels are close? What do you think, Crystal?
Oh, I love this question. Thanks so much, Maria. I love working with the angels, and I really read them a lot in my client space, as well as my student space, as well as my space. And so I love this question. And you know what? For me personally, and maybe this is true for you, I know that it's true for a lot of my clients and students, and maybe you too, Maria, that I notice that an angel is in my space because my temperature drops rapidly. And it's not, you know, like, ooh, that's like kind of chilly, like that's a little scary. It's not that whatsoever. It happens really quick, where all of a sudden from like the core of my body, and it like comes from the inside and then out, and then it translates to angel bumps or goosebumps, or what some people call spirit sparks. That's my biggest indication that an angel is close by. And it's an instant thing. So it's not that it's a continuous, like I'm so cold and, you know, where I'm uncomfortable in that space. It's an instant, like, and all of a sudden it's like I know that the angels just entered into my space, and it's very powerful. So maybe for you, Maria, you know, if you can kind of be aware of that little shift, or maybe, you know, the good indication of when your angel bumps show up. There's a reason why they're called angel bumps. It's because an angel's in your space. And then I've also heard a lot of people, and it happens to me as well, where all of a sudden your hearing just kind of shifts, right? I mean, we've all had that, where all of a sudden it's like, all of a sudden you hear like a, right? Like a, and then it just kind of goes. Well, that is actually an angel coming into your space as well. And so try to really pay close attention to, just like, it's almost like a different frequency. And it is, it's a different frequency of energy that's just sort of coming into your energy field. So maybe pay attention to something like that too, Maria. They're always close by, but when they really come into your space, those are really evidential feelings that I get. And then as far as signs, well, each angel that you have in your space that you work with is going to communicate to you in different ways. And so I would suggest really looking for synchronicities, right? When you start seeing patterns like over and over, most common are you'll see like a path of feathers. I mean, that just doesn't happen. I remember when I first started working with angels, I was like you, like, show me a sign, show me a sign that you're here. And do you know that I live out on the beach, and do you know I came back my beach pathway, and all of a sudden the entire pathway was just thrown with feathers everywhere. And it was probably about 5 or 6 different types of feathers. It was probably about 100 feathers just right there. And so then I knew I started working with them more and more, but that was a sign. So you can ask them for a sign, but then just look for the little synchronicities. Like I said, feathers in your path. I've heard coins dropped, that's one thing too. Just start looking for those because they're going to communicate to you in your own special way. Dr. Lauren?
Well, I was peeking at you specifically, Maria, and maybe that's why Crystal was saying what she was saying, because I wanted to see how the angels that are around you are trying to get your attention. They touch you, and they touch you on the left side of your body, but you don't realize it. And so what they suggested is almost exactly what Crystal said, is to do energetic experiments. And what I think is, if it were me and I could read myself as well as I could read you, I would go to like a list of, the well-known archangels and ask, have them show you different signs. For example, if you were going to work with Michael, we'll tell Michael that you'd like to see a feather from Michael, and then move maybe down to one of my favorites, Hanel, and say to Hanel that you'd like to hear bird noises when she's around, and assign each one of them a sign that, and start looking for them, like Crystal said. But then you'll know which ones really can get your awareness. Like if you see feathers, you know that you can work with Michael, that your communication channel is connected with him, right? So go assign a sign for the archangels that you're most interested in, and then watch which ones can deliver for you, and then those would be the ones to work with. I hope that helps.
Well, Dr. Lauren, I was getting angel bumps as you were talking, so I know you're right.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, I got him. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was like, oh, yep, they're liking this.
All right. Well, Maria, I hope that helps. And I guess we're ready for question number 3.
I'm ready. All right, so question number 3, moving right along, comes from Laura in Texas. And Laura wants to know, do angels know about our soul contracts and our soul's purpose?
I think I'll take that contracts question.
Specialty. Go ahead.
So, when we first learned that angels don't incarnate, that they really hover at the very, very highest level of the astral, maybe to give you context, most of us hover about level 4. They're up like 9 through 12. 12 is the highest. So they're way up there. So the way that they perceive things is so much different than the way a being without a body would perceive things that vibrates lower on the astral plane. Could you imagine asking an angel maybe what you should eat? Well, an angel's never eaten. They don't eat. So what would they know about a Homo sapiens dietary requirements? Not a lot. So really, we think of angels more, I don't know, Crystal and I kind of think of them as the cosmic cheerleaders they're non-judgmental. They love you no matter whether you're fulfilling your contracts or not. I don't know. I think if I was going to query a being without a body about my personal contracts, I think I'd probably go to my Akashic record keeper. My personal record keeper is Anastasia, and she looks like the good witch in The Wizard of Oz. So I hope that answers your question. Crystal, what do you want to add?
Well, we're always right here. Lauren and I, like, we're so parallel all the time. It's so funny. And so, of course, I was taking a peek at Laura's Akashic record keeper, because that's exactly the direction that I was going into. And just to touch a little bit on what Dr. Lauren said was, yeah, your angels, they're happy for you no matter what. It doesn't matter what you're doing here or there. They're like, yay, go for it. She's off her path. We love you.
Yeah, right.
It's just how it is. So really, if you wanted to work those contracts and, like, if this is really what you came to do, it's like you want to know your contracts, you want to know your soul's purpose, you've got this. Definitely start working with your Akashic record keeper. And mine is Annabelle. And I always think that they're the sassiest of the guides for some reason. And mine's like a 1920s flapper, but they're quick. They're like those data entry like clerks. Like they go, do. And so I was looking at yours, and it's so interesting because yours is a male, and he comes through as his name is Harold. And I know that sounds like so silly, but his name is Harold. And however, it's like his name doesn't really match his valence, because he's very tall and like debonair. He's almost like a 6.5 foot tall, like debonair, like kind of butler almost. And but he's very young. And so that's the valence that he's showing me. And so his name is Harold, and he's so ready to work with you. And so really how you can do that is once you listen to this, is you just call Harold into your space. And you could, as part of your daily meditation, you could just, with intention, just call in Harold into your space and say, hey, Harold, will you update today's soul's contracts? Update me with today's space. Hey, just start working with them in that manner. And, maybe Harold, show me what my life's purpose is. And I guarantee you, when you go to bed that night, you and Harold will be working on the astral, and you'll most likely wake up with so much information that you and Harold really went through over the night. So I highly encourage you to do that. Dr. Lauren and I, we work with our Akashic record keepers all throughout the day. And so I hope that helps. So please work with Harold. He's ready to work for you. He's at your service, as he's saying. So, all right. Well, Laura, I hope that answers your question. And if you did hear your name and we did answer your question, please visit our website, www.metaphysicalqa.com, and go ahead and click on that free reading button. And Dr. Lauren and I would love to deliver a free reading for you. So, all right.
Well, those were great questions, and hopefully great answers. So, Crystal, do you think we've done it again?
You know what, Dr. Lauren? As Harold would say, I think we have yet again. I do believe we've done it again. We are making metaphysics crystal clear.
And golden delicious.
So please visit our website, www.metaphysicalqa.com. It's right there. And subscribe and submit to your questions. And check me out, crystalsunshinepsychicservices.com.
And check me out on the web, goldenrosepsychic.com and laurencielo.com. Bye for now.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.